Welcome to the video. In this video, I will be revealing 7 secret tactics that people use to manipulate you without you even knowing. With these tactics, I want to make it clear that these are tactics people try to use against you, and you should use this video to spot those tactics or times when you use those tactics to get your way and see if it's a positive or negative thing, and then change your behavior or stay away from people that use these tactics. However, I am not saying that you should use these in any way, shape, or form. Some of them are bad. Some of them aren't inherently bad. However, if you use them to manipulate people and to do negative things, then they are bad. You can use these to influence people to make good decisions, and if that's the case, you should go ahead and by all means use that for that decision, but otherwise you should stay away from using these tactics. If you feel like you're personally getting manipulated by somebody in your life, and you probably are, this video is for you. Continue watching. As always, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Let's get straight into this. First thing we got here, and I'm actually surprised, I don't know how to spell this. Here we go. I'm actually surprised that enough people don't know about this, and that is reciprocity. So reciprocity is a very, very simple rule. It's a biological rule inside of humans where basically if you give me something, then I give you something. I like to use the term, there's like a law in the 48 Laws of Power that is never accept a free lunch. And I use that concept. So I don't really, because of that, I don't really like when people buy me food. That's just something that's a part of me now. And so basically it's, if I do something for you, no matter how big or small, you're going to in turn do something for me, right? And it's very, very little. Okay, you might not realize it. It's not like I'm saying, I'll do this, you do that. It's I open the door, and because I opened the door, I gave you a good feeling, and now you feel obligated to do something back for me. And this is very important because I've seen this happen before where people will buy food, or they'll, like I said, open the door, or they will get you a gift, right? And in return, they're expecting something else from you. And so what happens is people will bank on this this whole thing that say this is them and this is you, right? People will bank on the favor that you exchange for them, or this is them, they exchange you the favor, and now you feel obligated to give them something back. And so maybe this is free food, right? And then this guy wants to give you business, right? So he feels obligated to give you business now, right? And so the way that people use this is they'll buy you free food, they will do nice things for you, get you gifts, say nice things to you, help you out with a problem. If in the way I kind of use this tactic specifically to figure out if someone's trying to use this on me is seeing how helpful someone is willing to be. Remember, you're not obligated or owe anyone anything for anything you do for them. And so I'd keep that in mind. I personally tell myself that I don't owe anyone anything unless a proper written agreement was signed and monetary value was exchanged for compensation. If there was no written agreement and there was no monetary value exchange, I don't care how well I know you, how good of a person you are, how much I love and care about you, I don't owe you anything. And that's okay. Like, obviously you want to do favors for the people that you love in your life, but a lot of times it's common to find people trying to, especially like salesmen, I'll use that as an example. They'll give you something for free up front, so that way you feel obligated to buy on the back end. That is not necessarily a bad technique, right? If the service is good, it's helpful. However, it's still a little bit manipulative. So I would just be very careful with the intentions behind that. That's reciprocity. A lot of people use that to their strengths as much as they can go. Here's a free this. And then it's like, oh my God, that's so sick. And then you end up buying on the back end and you don't even know why, but it's because you feel like you owe them something. You're obligated to give them something. So that's the first one. The second one, and I use this one a lot, okay? I use this one all the time, actually. I will say that I'm guilty of this. It's very important to understand that, like, are you using this for a positive thing, right? Are you like really trying to get, because when I use this on somebody, like, it's because I'm trying to do something positive. It's not like I'm trying to hurt them in any way. So when I've used these tactics in my life, it's not because I'm trying to hurt them, it's because I'm trying to help them. Okay, now some of these tactics you definitely shouldn't use at all, but they're probably being used on you, and that's why I bring them up in this video. Giving a reason. This one's very big. I use this. It's very simple. And a lot of people also use this on you as well. So just an example in my life, I remember one time, now I don't think my roommate did this intentionally, but I was about to hop in the shower. I literally just bought everything in the bathroom, turned the shower on, all this stuff. Roommate knocks on the door and says, hey man, can I take a shower because I have to leave? And so when he said that, I was like, oh, he's got to go. This is important. So I got out and I let him take a shower first. And after he got in the shower, I was like, oh shit, he just used that on me. And I don't know, like, he might not have intentionally done that. But sometimes people will use that to get their way. So just be careful when someone gives you a reason for why they need you to do something. I think there was a study done where they had kids like go up at a school to a copy machine, and some people they try to cut the line. So there's like 3 people standing in line at the copier, and the one kid would walk up and say, "Can I please print this paper?" And everyone would be like, "Dude, screw off! Like, we're all in line." But if they found that if someone walked up and said, "Can I please print this out really quick? I have to get to this class. It starts in 5 minutes." Everybody will move out the way for that person. right? And also that's another tactic I'm going to talk about here. I think it's the next one, actually. No, it's the fourth one. But unity, right? So because everyone else did it, the person's going to do it too. So if person number 3 moved, person number 2 moved, then person number 1's going to feel obligated to move. Even if they already have their papers pulled up and they're ready to do everything, they might move because everyone else did. So that's the second one. I want to put something in here with this. This could be its own thing, but guilt tripping, right? I've seen this one before, where basically the reason is a guilt, right? It's guilt tripping into doing something. So it's like, can you do this thing for me because like something terrible happened to me, right? I need to see you because my dad just died, or I actually had this happen to me recently. I had a group of missionaries come to my door, and they were Mormon, and I don't. That's not me. I'm non-denominational. I go to church, but I'm not Mormon. That's just me, and I don't have anything against that. That's just not the way that I believe. And so they kept coming to my door, bugging me, and eventually they texted me and said, "Hey man, are you available?" And I was like, "Look man, I'm not interested. Thank you, for your time, but sorry for wasting your time. I'm just not interested." And so the guy texted me back and said, "God sent you to your door. Do you not have 5 seconds?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, you just lost any chance of me talking to you." Like that's guilt tripping, right? Using an external power to tell you as to why you have to do something for someone. So just be careful whenever someone asks for a request and then says because afterwards, think about it and think of what they're actually getting. What's the value that they're getting? Like if someone's approaching you like, "Can you buy this thing for me because I'm having a rough time, my wife's in labor and all this stuff," that's guilt tripping. That's not good, right? If someone says, "Hey, can I borrow your car because I have to run to the store really quickly," right? That's not inherently bad. It's like, okay, whatever, like you can borrow my car, or something like that. "Can you make me food really quick? I gotta get out of here," right? But see the real intentions behind it. Are they trying to get the food so they can leave, or are they just trying to command you to do things, right? Because little by little, if you follow someone and listen to what they say over and over and over again, you will just start being a yes man to this person, right? And so that's what we're trying to prevent here, ultimately, with a lot of these tactics. All right, here's another one, and I'm again surprised that not many people know this stuff because I think about this all the time. But body mirroring, I catch people doing this, and consciously. So this actually happens unconsciously most of the time. So you can mirror someone's body language unconsciously, but some people will do it on purpose. You can catch them with how they're like paying really close attention to your body. So if they're not holding eye contact and they're paying attention to the movements that you're making, that kind of thing, then that's when you can catch them. But body mirroring, right? So say for example, I have my arms like this, and you're sitting across from me with your arms like this. Most likely, I'm going to reciprocate with whatever you're asking for because I'm moving my hands and doing things in the same way. You have the same body language as me, right? Now, here's an interesting thing. This is not really manipulation. I mean, I guess it is manipulation, but you can change people's body language. If someone's like this, they probably don't want to talk to you. And so, what I would do, if it was like a one-on-one thing and they weren't receptive, they were like this, especially if you're trying to help someone out. What I would do is then offer them something, right? So, hey, grab it here. Here's this piece of paper. Can you hold this? And now they've taken up their body language and moved like that. But if someone's like mirroring you, it's because they want you to reciprocate with whatever they're trying to sell you or whatever they're talking to you about, right? So be very careful of that. Again, it happens unconsciously. If you guys are just doing it and you guys are mirroring body language and it's cool, it's probably happening unconsciously. You guys are probably just getting along. But if someone purposefully, you can tell they're like watching your body and seeing your motions, they're probably trying to mirror your body so that way you get along, right? Because it breeds a liking, it breeds a similarity. And so you're more receptive when you guys are mirroring language. Number 4 is unity. So this is actually the latest addition to Robert Cialdini's influence book. I think when he dropped the new version in like, I don't know, like probably 10 years ago at this point. Unity. Very, very interesting. I was talking about it a little bit earlier, but basically the idea here is that if you can get people to feel like they're a part of a group, they're more likely to buy into your thing. And this is how the MSN uses it on you, or MSM, mainstream media, uses it on you. They want you to feel like you're a part of a group. I'm part of the boys group. I'm part of the girls group. I'm part of this race. I'm part of this ethnicity. I'm part of this religion, right? And I'm part of this sexuality. And so they want to bring you together with your little cliques and fight one another. That's what MSM does, just to be completely honest with you. But regardless, if you feel like you're a part of the group because you guys all have similar things, you're going to fight for that group, right? And the example I like to use here, and I love the one that Robert Cialdini uses, there was a concentration camp in Nazi Germany during World War II, and they had like all these guys lined up, and there's this one Nazi, I guess, executioner that was walking along, and every 10th person, he would shoot them. He was supposed to shoot. I don't know if like they were in trouble or if they'd done something wrong. I don't know. It's a concentration camp. Anyway, every 10th person, he shoots every 10th person. Well, he gets to the 10th person in this one line, stops and shoots the 11th person, and then keeps on going. And we come to find out later in the story that actually that 10th guy lived in the same town as the shooter, right? So the Nazi knew the Jewish guy standing in front of him, and because they lived in the same town together, and he was always nice to him, so he didn't shoot him, right? He felt like he was in unity with that person. And so if you can appeal to people like that, some people will use that as a way to get advantage of you, right? Oh, bro, like we're the same ethnicity, we're the same race, we're the same sexuality, whatever it is, trying to get you to believe in the thing that they believe in, right? And again, unity, if everyone else is doing it, then you should do it too, right? This is how a lot of cultural differences and cultural proclivities have been introduced to modern society. It's because that guy over there does it, and me and that guy are the same because we live in the same neighborhood and we act the same way and we know the same people, right? This is another reason why I don't want to send my kids to public school, is because if all the kids in the class, I remember personally when I was younger, if I got a bad grade and everyone else got a bad grade, I felt good. But if everyone else got a bad grade and I got a good grade, I also still felt bad. Like I felt bad because I didn't get a similar grade to my friends. Even though I got a better grade, my friends got worse grades, and so I felt stupid. And then my friends would ridicule me. Oh, look at the smart guy over here, Mr. Smart Guy, getting a good grade on the test. That's why I don't want to send my kids to school. Like, if everyone else in the class is playing video games and jerking off on the weekends, my kid's going to do the same thing. That's how you get influence. It's influence tactics, it's manipulation. So if someone is trying to use the fact that you guys have similarities and likings and you're from the same neighborhood and you're from the same place to do business with you or to get approval from you or to get you to say yes to something, they might be using this manipulation tactic on you. Now, with liking, it's a little bit different from unity. It's not we're a part of this group. It's I'm similar to you. So instead of we're this group, I'm similar to you. Liking, people will try to appeal to your interests, right? So they'll try to dress like you. Maybe they try to learn a little bit about you before they show up. So say, for example, if somebody wants you to do a favor for them or even like a sales, right? So a salesman. So a salesman, before he shows up, he does some research on you. He figures out what you like. And so he slowly starts bringing that up in the conversation. That's not a bad thing. Again, some of these things aren't bad things. These are influential techniques that are important. They're easy to use to help and guide other people, but some people use this maliciously. And this is why I'm bringing it up. You should catch yourself using this stuff maliciously. And if you are, change it. Liking, appearing to your interests. The way to see through this is micro expression. So it's not only just, it kind of has to go back with the body mirroring, right? They'll try to appear like they're friendly and they fit in just like you, right? They'll play the mask, they'll play the character that you want them to see. So that way they're friends with you. And I think a really, really good example of this, if you've ever seen the movie War Dog, Jonah Hill's character was, whenever he would get in trouble, he would play the character that someone wanted him to play. And that's basically what liking is playing a character. So I remember specifically there was one guy who, it's a movie about gun runners. These guys are gun runners, and they are cleaning money in a laundromat. And the guy that owns the laundromat is Jewish. And so every single time Jonah Hill's character go there, he'd wear the little, I don't know what it's called, but the hat. And he'd go in there and he'd say that the reason why he was doing all this stuff was so that way he could save the people that were over in these wars, and he was doing it for the Jewish religion. But that's not why he was doing it. He was doing it for money. But he was playing to the likings of other people to get them to agree with him and listen to him. And at the end of the movie, he even brought up to his partner, oh yeah, Scarface was on last night. I was thinking about you and how we used to hang out when we were younger and all that stuff. And the partner says, Scarface wasn't on last night, was it? So that's the situation here. You catch people by micro expressions of liking. So if they have micro expressions where you can kind of see that they like twitch a little bit, or they kind of look around, or they get nervous and they don't really, you can catch it in the little bit of movements and actions if someone's actually like playing a character or their true self. If you look in the micro expressions, you can see where the true self is. When someone says, oh, something came over me, something didn't come over them, that's exactly who they are. Number 6, character reinforcement. So this one's really good. I recommend using this if you're a parent or if you're a boss or anything like that. Reinforce people's characters, not the behavior. So this is actually a really, really good one, but some people will use that to get you to do the work more. So if your boss is doing this, I mean, again, it's not inherently bad. Just some people might be using these on you, and it's good to be aware of. So character reinforcement. So say, for example, my roommate's washing the dishes, and I've used this before. I've said this exact line. So, and the dishes don't usually get washed in my house, or they didn't at one point. And so I would say, hey man, thank you for your hard work. We need more hard workers around here like you. And so now I've attacked the character trait, right? I've attacked the character. The character, the reinforcement, the positive energy that I just gave them was about the character trait, hard worker. And so they want to be a hard worker. So they will continue to try and work hard to live up to those expectations. But if I would have said, thank you for doing the dishes, all I did was reinforce the behavior or approve, praise the action. And they're like, okay, yeah, I did a great job. But if you praise the character trait, right? So I guess character praise would make more sense. If you praise the character trait, then people are more likely to continue with that character trait. You're so loving, you're so caring. Watch out. It can be like a love bombing thing. It can be like I'm trying to manipulate you to bend to my will. But if someone's being genuine, you can tell if someone's being genuine. If you see sincerity inside of them and we're really good at sniffing out intention. If you feel like something's wrong, then it probably is, right? But this isn't inherently a bad thing. If you're a boss or a parent, I would definitely use this. I've used this before to get people to do better things, right? And it's usually always hard work. You're such a hard worker. I'm proud of you. Keep it up. And the last one, this one's bad. This is a very narcissistic thing to do. And the reason why this one is so bad is because not what it does in the moment, but what it does in the future. So what it does like after the fact, backhanded compliments, right? So someone will say, "Oh, you think you know everything, don't you?" Right? That's a backhanded compliment. "Oh, you're so smart. You must know everything," right? Or that looks good. That clothes looks good. It looks better than the last time I was around you. The last thing you were wearing. This is a very narcissistic thing to do. And the reason why people do this stuff, or maybe they don't know, but this is what ends up happening. This is why it's so messed up for your psyche, and you need to stay away from these people at all costs. When somebody gives you a backhanded compliment, what they're doing is rooting that into your belief. A lot of times that compliment's a label. You are smart. You are pretty. You are great. But this other thing, right? You're so great. I wonder what God would think about what you did. Or I don't know. I don't know. That just came to my head. The point is, when people say things like that, they've labeled you with something. I'm this. And then you feel like you have to meet their expectations in their mind. So if they say, "Hey, that's a pretty dress. It looks better than the last time I saw you." Now you're thinking about the thing that you wore the last time that you saw them. And then the next time before you hang out with them again, you start thinking about, "Oh, what should I wear? I don't want that person to be displeased with me." These are people you need to stay away from. This is a very narcissistic tendency. If you see this, I would stay away from those people. You're so smart. You think you know everything. That's the first one that came to my head. But backhanded compliments. You're this. I wonder what other people would think about that. Or it looks better than what you've done before. Or usually you're not like this, right? You're so smart. Usually you're pretty dumb, right? And so now you have to try to appeal to their interests. Don't appeal to other people's interests. Appeal to your own interests. Don't give a shit about what people think. And if someone tries to get in your way with this kind of crap, tell them to go fuck themselves. So just to recap: reciprocity, giving a reason, guilt tripping, body mirroring, unity, liking, character reinforcement, and backhanded compliments. These are all psychology tricks and manipulation tactics that people use to get their way. If you catch anyone doing this stuff and it's in a malicious manner, you should stay away from that person because they have very dark triad tendencies. If they're doing it to help you out, then they might just be a very smart person and they might care for you. And that's just the situation. I hope that helped you out. I hope that helped you spot some of this stuff inside yourself. If you use that in a negative and malicious manner, you're probably not the best person. You should probably fix that. But if anyone is manipulating you or anyone has manipulated you, please let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear your stories and talk about them maybe. So I hope that helped you out. Bye.